Hello, how you doing today? I'm coming live, and I hope can see the title of the name of the video is called Segregation, White People Leave Us Alone. Okay, now, I don't, want nobody to take this the wrong way, but we have been trying to live with Europeans for years, and it hasn't worked for our people. Okay, and I don't want to be mean and seem to come off racist, but reality sometimes is just reality, and that's what we have to look at here is reality. We can all sing kumbaya and try to get along, but it's not happening, family. It's not happening. And I believe we should separate ourselves from these people. I really do. Because evidently they hate our guts. And I'm not very fond of them, of the way they treat us. So it's not that I hate them. I just don't. I'm not very fond of them. How you doing this afternoon? How you doing, sweetie? And I'm not too fond of them either because of the way they have been treating my people in past and recently also. So not only in the past, this is happening now. And so the only solution that I could come up with is that we separate ourselves from them. Um, half of them don't want to live beside us, and they don't want to work with us, and things like that. And I think we should have our own businesses and support one another businesses and start giving our money to them and the foreigners. Okay, because it's getting kind of ridiculous now. Uh, how you doing? It's getting kind of ridiculous now. Okay, shalom. It's getting ridiculous about how they're going about showing their racism. They keep calling 911 on black people for little things that they do every day. But as soon as we do it, it's a problem, and it's just everyday things. For instance, like last night when I was thinking about doing this video, I was kind of docking down some things that they do, calling the police for apparently no reason at all, just something that not only we do but they do also. And some of the things was like, you know, recently I seen a video where a young man was in a lobby of a hotel that he had purchased a room. They called 911 on him because he called his mother on his cell phone in the lobby. Come on now, that's ridiculous. Did you see how petty that is? The security guard called the police on him because he was in the lobby talking on his cell phone. That's ridiculous. I can't wrap my mind around why would you abuse 911 because somebody's using their cell phone. 911 is for emergencies. That is not an emergency. Then he, blatantly told the man he didn't want him there at the hotel. He said, I purchased a room. He said they don't want him there. He wanted him to leave. He's going to leave. And so, these are just some little crazy things. Like the girl a while back, a few months back, rather, I think it was this year, where she took a nap, fell asleep in a dorm room, or by their dorm room. And they called 911 on this black girl for taking a nap. I just can't. I don't understand it. That's petty, And then there's the young man that was at the pool. That happened not only with a young man, it happened with a family too. They called the cops on him then for being at the pool simply because they just didn't want him there. About the barbecue with Barbecue Becky or whatever her name was. Called the cops on the black men because they were barbecuing in a public park. Okay, this is some little things. The little girl that was selling water, little black girl. She called 911 on the little black girl for selling water, on a little girl, on a child for selling water. Come on, y'all. You see how ridiculous this stuff is? The other day, it was some black ladies, sisters, walking around in the store. And this nosy white woman had nothing else to do but follow them around and hear their conversation and say they were talking about sex. What if they were? They were talking to each other and not her. But she felt as though she could follow them around, listen to their conversation, and then she gets upset because they didn't want to talk to her or deal with her. You know, it's crazy. Then there was an incident where what is the one? It was another one. The people was the two young ladies, the sisters. They were sisters, and they were sitting in front of the apartment building waiting on Triple A because I guess one of them having car problems. Waiting on Triple A. And this white lady come over there and just started harassing them, hollering about I'm white, and I'm privileged, and so who cares? You can't even stand outside in front of your own apartment without being harassed and calling 911 on because you waiting on somebody to come fix your car. Okay, have every right to stand out in front of your house or your apartment or wherever you rent. Um, she was out there. I guess she was drunk, but yet still, she had nothing else better to do but to come up to these two sisters and started harassing them. Um, but see, they think that they're our boss. You know, that's their mindset. Um, there was one incident where I think somebody was trying to use a black person was trying to use coupons. The clerk called the cops on them, called 911 on them because they were trying to use this is simple stuff that they do every day. They were trying to use coupons. Come on, y'all. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. You see how crazy this stuff is living beside these people. Um, you know, it's just we can't do anything. We just can't do anything. Um, you can't even be in your own apartment without being harassed in your own apartment. You know, you see the young man where the cop went in there and shot him to death. He was in his own apartment. It's just these silly things that these people are doing that, you know, and this may be just the most high showing us to separate ourselves from the people. Now, you know, I want to get biblical a little bit. I don't want to go too deep into the Bible, but this could be just the most high showing us that we should separate ourselves from these people. We cannot get along with them, no matter how hard we try. They don't try very hard, but we try harder. You know, like we're gonna do everything they tell us to do. We're gonna look like they tell us to look, dress how they tell us to dress, get their education, go into their army. We're gonna buy their products. We're gonna do all the things they want us to do so we can get along with them. So they will like us. They will one day they're gonna love us. Come on, y'all. This has been over 400 years now, and it hasn't happened. You know, reality has to kick in. It's time for reality to kick in, family. You know, um, I don't even know what else to say. You know, but open our eyes. You know, and even we're thinking that we can marry them and have kids with them, and they won't hate us no more. That ain't even working. That's not even working. You have racist women and men are just, you know, marrying them don't stop racism. I mean, or having sex with them, that was going on back in slavery. Having sex with them or having happening in slavery, and they still would beat you and make you work all day and treat you badly. You know, so on none of these things has worked, family. None of these things has worked. And I want y'all to just think about what I'm saying, especially the ones of you that think that we can, you know, intermarry with them and we can have children with them. And I have heard incidents where biracial children are being uh, um, talked to by their own mother or father, calling them the N word. I've heard this. And matter of fact, I know a young lady that I let stay with me one time. She's biracial. Her mother's white. Her father's black. I knew her father. I didn't know her mother, but I knew her father. And she told me the story about how her mother um, had all white children. She's the only biracial child that her mother had, and I think it's like two, three of them maybe. But here's what she told me: when she come over here and she come to stay with her father, that evidently they wasn't getting along because I don't think he was in her life that much because she lived with her mother. But her mother got a white boyfriend. Now her mother's white, but then her boyfriend, she got a boyfriend that was white. and all the rest of her children was white. My friend was the only one um, biracial. And she told me that her mother's boyfriend was racist and didn't want her in the house because she was the only biracial one, part black. So she come stay with me. I let her stay with me. But that broke my heart to think that your own mother would turn on, even though she's white herself, she would turn on her own daughter and get a racist white man that don't like black, knowing she has a biracial child. Do you hear me? And I know this girl personally, you know, and I've heard other incident where they said that the children were saying that yes, yeah, I mean I'm pretty sure some of y'all done heard it too, where their own father or their own mother are calling their biracial children the N-word. Come on now. Don't you think that's gonna hurt that child? You calling them that, you know? Even though they're a part of you and you're white, you're gonna call them the N-word because the other side is so-called black or so-called African American. It's ridiculous, y'all. So if this stuff is not working in interracial marriages and it's not working with the biracial children, getting along with these people, if none of that is working, there's nowhere else to go. Family, there's just nowhere else to go but to separate ourselves totally from these people. You know, and like I said again, I believe, and I really do believe in my heart that this is the Most High showing us to set ourselves apart from these people. Okay? No matter what we do, they don't like it. They take all their frustration out on black people. Okay? And now they have a president in there that is clearly racist, and they love it that he's in there. You know, they really love that he's a racist, and so that has emboldened them in some sort of way to come out with their racism. I mean, it was already there, you know, but since Trump has been in there in office, they have just came off and pulled the hoods off their head. But that's okay though. I'm glad they did. I really am, because you know a lot of stuff been going on with them, doing stuff that we would probably look over and say, oh no, they didn't do that. They wouldn't do nothing like that. But now that the sheets has coming off of their head, they pulling those sheets off. You can plainly see that, yeah, they're capable of just about anything. You know, I mean, about the young lady Nina Wilson, I believe it was. Just you know, her and her sister at the sub train, wherever they were, the Caucasian man just walked up to the young lady and stabbed her in her neck. Come on, y'all. Just because she was a black woman. Just because she was a black woman. And then recently, not too long ago, they attacked another black lady in New York. White man came up to her and punched her. They had witnesses that seen this. He called her the N-word, the black or something he called her. This is happening. There was another young man where he was just standing waiting on a Uber, I believe. And white racist young man walked up to him and stabbed him in his chest just because he was black. So you cannot be turning your back on them. That's another thing. I want to warn you. Whenever you are in their presence, I don't care what they may look like. They might look normal, look like innocent doves or whatever. Might have a smile on their face. Don't turn your back on them, because they're walking up to black people just randomly stabbing them or punching them or something. Don't turn your back. Please don't. This is a warning. And this is a warning to some of y'all that they haven't seen the light yet. No, I know my brothers and sisters out there's a lot of them that know what I'm talking about. And they're cautious. But you one that's walking around with blindfolders on, you need to listen. Okay? And look at the young man that went to Greece. He went to Greece with a bunch of Caucasian friends, supposed to be friends. And these friends watched these other Caucasians in Greece beat him to death. And from my understanding, I've been keeping up with it. From my understanding, they won't even testify against what they, what they saw the other ones do. The white friends that he went with won't testify against the ones that killed him. But they were supposed to be friends. He was friends. And this was all done over a female, Caucasian female. Because the rest of them was jealous because this female was talking to this black guy and took a picture with him. And they were jealous of that. They're like, oh no, you black people not coming here with that interracial, taking our women. It's because, the black and the white women and the black men are like this now. Yeah, you got a lot of women out here, black women, that are dating outside of their race. But it's more, from my understanding, it's more black men that's doing it. But nevertheless, and then you got fools like Tommy Sotomayor calling black women names and degrading black women. I guess he may have had a bad experience with one. I don't know. But you can't put all black women in that category, okay? And if we do have problems and we do act out and do act up, there's a reason. You need to get to the root of the reason why. Because nobody's teaching these young people. Only thing teaching young women now is what is it? I don't even look at the mess. The Basketball Wives or something other, Atlanta, those wives or whatever. Those reality shows. They're imitating them. Because they have nobody in their life to talk to them and show them and talk to them like we did in my day. When I was coming up, we had people that were older people that would call us to the side and tell us, how to act or what not to act like, what the consequences was for acting like that. But now these young ladies don't teach their children. Matter of fact, they try to be friends with their children and they get along with them by giving them what they want, letting them act out, with the attitude and the rolling their neck and talking back, all of that. These women let these children do that nowadays. That wasn't so in my days. So we came out better people. But, nowadays these females are just letting these young children run wild. And I don't know. It's terrible, but no discipline, no punishment, no consequences, And then when they grow up, then you people looking at what happened. Because they have no guidance in their life. Most of the black fathers won't stick around, and mothers, they get attitudes because the father left them with the children, and they take it out on the kids. I've seen it happen in the black neighborhood. But there's a cycle going on here, a cycle going on. And you see, I'm gonna give you a little hint of my story. My dad wasn't in my life. I've heard about him. I've seen pictures of him, but he wasn't in my life. Matter of fact, he went and raised another woman's children, wasn't even his. And he wasn't in my life. And I think I met him when I was about 17. Yeah, I did. I met him when I was about 17. And I asked him some questions, like, why wasn't he in my life? And he plainly told me it was my mom's fault, because she one ran off with me. She was the one. Thank you. I'm seeing a little bit. No, I'm not. No, I'm not married. No, I'm not married. I had a friend, love of my life, passed away about 6 years ago from cancer. So, I just been single ever since. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to really get into that because it make me cry. I still miss him. But no, I'm not married. Anyway, as I was saying, and I asked my dad, and he told me it was my mom's fault. She got mad with him because they didn't work out, and I guess she was trying to hurt him by taking off with me, but she really hurt, me for not being my dad like. But it's forgiveness. And mothers, you young mothers, stop. If you and that man cannot get along and y'all can't be together, stop putting in your child's head that you're going to be no good just like your daddy. Don't do that, because that child's going to grow up to be no good, because that's what you have programmed in there. You think my daddy wasn't no good, I'm not going to be no good, because that's what you're telling him. All right? Don't do that, and stop talking bad about the child's father just because you and them didn't make it. They have nothing to do with that. I hate to hear young ladies tell their child, you just like your no good blank daddy or something like that. I hate that. I hate it with a passion. I wouldn't do my children like that. Just because you and that man can get along, you're going to take it out on that child because he looks like his daddy, or he acts like his daddy or her daddy. Don't do that. That's not good. And you're gonna get that child, and in that child's psyche, he or she is gonna grow up thinking that they're no good. And what you think they're gonna do? They're gonna act out and act no good. So don't do that. If you want your child to be anything in life, don't put that in their mind. Please don't. And I kind of I got on my mother about what she did after my father told me what happened. And because I mean, she basically had me thinking that my dad didn't want to have nothing to do with me, but that wasn't true. That's what I was thinking. So I'm gonna tell you about the power of forgiveness. I really forgave my dad, and I had to forgive my mother for doing what she did, taking me from him, and I had to forgive him for not being there. But from my understanding, he had been looking for me. Okay, now I'm from Virginia, and my mother took me down Florida. My father, back then during that time, he couldn't find me. But when I came back to Virginia, I was still young, and other people were saying like, "Your daddy been looking for you. Your daddy been looking for you." So I'm glad that now me and him have a good relationship. Great, awesome. So just I don't want to get off what I was talking about separating, but I'm just telling you about how these cycles keep going around in the Black community, with the mothers and the fathers not being there, not educating your children properly. Now, another thing I want to get on you about, not you, but everybody, myself included. All right, this education that our children getting, even the education that we got, we're getting the European education, okay? So teach your children at home, even if they go get a piece of paper from that school saying, okay, you done got this degree or whatever, or you done graduated here or there, you still teach your children the truth at home, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this, because look, if they don't treat you right, they're not going to teach you right, okay? They miseducate our children on purpose, okay? Our kids don't know who they are. They don't know their true history, you know. All they know about their past is slavery. But see, they had a past before slavery. And so just dig a little bit deeper, do some research about who we are as a nation before we send our people out there and our children out there in the world after they graduate from high school and college, before we send them out there, okay? Because these people have made us ignorant on purpose, all right? I didn't find that out till later on in life, that everything that we've been taught basically was just lies, and if it was true, it was a whited or washed, whitewashed version, okay? Where they just whitewashed our history and made everybody white, and they wasn't. And they took, like, they give their say inventions, whatever Black people invented, they took credit for it. So you just gotta teach your kids these things, that they're somebody, and they come from greatness. They come from greatness. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them think that our history started as slaves. Basically, that's what they teach them in school. They don't teach them no further. So I just wanted to come on here and say I really do believe in separating, because I want to talk about this. Now, whether you believe it or not, I'm telling the truth, because a lot of people tell me that you don't that I don't look it. Okay, I'm 56. Okay, I was born in 1962, and back then, when I was coming up as a little girl, Malcolm and Martin Luther King was still alive. I remember as a child, watching them on TV, black and white, uh, listening to my parents and other people talk about them. And I didn't know what was going on about the struggle and what Malcolm and Martin, was trying to do at the time, and other Black leaders. I didn't know what they were trying to do because I was a little girl, so I didn't understand what was going on, but I do remember them. Okay. And I remember the time in the 60s, by the time I could think, I can go back to 4 or 5 years old, in my memory. I remember Black people. There were always a Black man in the household. Always. I don't care if it was just a brother or an uncle. There was a Black man in the household with the Black woman and the Black children. I remember our people getting together, singing, dancing, having a good time, getting along, not fighting. I remember these things as a child. There was always a black man in the house. But now, no, not with the black woman. He might be in the house with a white woman, but he's not with the black woman. But it wasn't so in my day. I remember this. I remember when I watching Soul Train in the 70s. There was black people on there, just black love in on the Soul Train. All you saw was blackness. All you saw was the black love and the singing and the power. This is what we saw back then. What did he say? Yes, yes. But I'm just, going back reminiscing about how it was when I was coming up. I don't know what happened till by the time we got in the 90s, I believe. I'm gonna say the late 90s. Things started changing. The people started changing. The blacks could not get along. They put crack cocaine in our neighborhoods, and the rappers comes out with the beef, and then you have the gangs and going against one another, and all of this in the black community being started. But you wonder, all of this was an agenda. It was all an agenda. They did this on purpose. They put us in these projects, and they put the crack cocaine in our projects. And then they did back there from the feminist movement. And some black women got caught up in that feminist movement too. Let me tell you about that. And they started taking the black men out of the house, telling them, well, he can't take care of you. You can't afford it. We'll give you a check, and we'll give you food stamps and health care to take care of your children, but the man can't be here. See, ladies, this is what happened to us. That's one of the things that happened to us. It wasn't basically the feminist movement, okay? It was the crack cocaine. I mean, like they're trying to sell drugs to take care of their family because they wouldn't get the good jobs and a lot of stuff like that. Then you had black men started pimping their women out, putting them on the street to sell themselves. Yeah, some of them even their own wives. This is what was going on then. When the late I'm gonna say the 90s, late 80s, somewhere in the 90s, somewhere, this started going on. But before then, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. And so now, and then if you look at now, check this out. I want y'all to notice something if you haven't already noticed it. On the commercials and in the movies now, all you see is white females with black men. And the black men is on there with this big Kool-Aid smile, like this is what you should do. They're promoting that. That's an agenda. If you have to promote, it means you're trying to draw people into that. Okay, I know, because I used to promote, but I used to promote singing, shows and coming up. So you're really trying to draw the people in. So when you see them promoting this interracial marriage and dating and biracial children on the news and on the commercials and the movies so much, it's an agenda. It's an agenda. Now what they're trying to do with you black men, they're trying to put you against the black woman. So when we have to fight them, you will be on their side. You won't help your women because your women and your children are under attack right now. They're targeting women, black women and children. So you got to know this. Your mother is a black woman. Your father, black man. Well, I'm gonna just go with the woman. Your sister, your aunties, your cousins, your classmates that you grew up with, black women. They're targeting them because they're trying to separate us. That's why they putting the white women like this with y'all and us like that with y'all. So you will not. When it's time to fight, you will be on their side. You're going to jump on their side against your own people, your own race. Is what you're going to do. And it's all an agenda. It's all an agenda. You pay attention to the TV. You very seldom see the black union anymore. I remember when the Soul Train commercials, and after the Soul Train on that channel, whatever station it came on, you will always see the what they call it, the Afro spray, commercials with the black man, the black woman with the big afro. Oh, they were promoting love. They were promoting all of that stuff back then. But now, see, they had to separate us. Remember something, they never do anything unless it benefits them. You might not believe it now. You was like, oh no, she don't know what she's talking about. It ain't like that. But you got to remember something. These people are actors. They can act very well. They have convinced us that they love us. Now I'm gonna get on something else too about the athletes, the black athletes, the NBA players, the NFL players. You're and the actors. You're marrying these white women because okay, you're rich now. You marry her, she divorced you. She's gonna get half of that wealth. Something happened to you and you die, she's gonna get it all. That's going in the white, that's going back to the white, that wealth is going back to the white people. See, and that's designed because they don't want it coming in the hood. It's all a design. They don't want it to come in the hood. They don't want that to come on the black side of your family. That white wife is gonna get it in her side. See what you're doing? You see what you're doing? You're giving your wealth away to that side. They're gonna make sure they get that wealth back. They're gonna give it to you because they're gonna put you in their, their movies and their sports. But then they're gonna take it back because they're gonna hand you this white woman. That kryptonite, as somebody called the white woman was a kryptonite, black man's kryptonite. That kryptonite. That's going back to them. It's not coming to the black neighborhood. Our people will not, if you make it out of the hood or the projects or wherever, and you make it big, you're supposed to help your people. Okay? Because they already got it all. But instead of that, you're marrying them and you're sending the wealth right back to them. And the black people are still down here, and it's all by design. They're going there and they're taking your money. You get rich, and they're taking the money because it's going back over there. It's all by design, sweetie. It's all by design. These people don't do nothing. You got to remember something. They're a couple of 100 years ahead of us. So every time they do something, it's to benefit them in their race and their cause. Okay? It's not for us. Come on now. Y'all going to have to wake up. Y'all going to have to wake up. But I just wanted to do this short video and just let you know that think about what I'm saying. You don't have to agree. Think about it. Because there's some people's getting their wake-up call. Even some famous people are getting their wake-up call. Every time LeBron James says something, oh, they're all over him. They don't want him to say it. He's famous. He got a platform. He can get on TV and say it. But they, like the white girl said, I think she was Fox News or something, like, shut up and dribble. They don't want them to say anything. And look at what they did to Colin Kaepernick. They just won't let him play anymore just because he took a stand and said, and I know he's biracial, but nevertheless, he took a stand for the injustice of black people getting killed. And he's a part of us. And I don't care if his mom's white or whatever, he's a part of us. But he took a stand more than some of our brothers are out here doing. That's all the way black. I hope some of them stand up. It's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to rise. They don't want us to do that. But it's time. It's time for us to rise. We don't have to tell them everything, but it's time for us first to unite. That's the first thing we have to do. Second thing we have to do is we have to put our money together. Build our own, have our own land. This is what we first have to do. And separate ourselves. Do the ones that wants to separate. It's going to be some that don't want to separate, but let them go ahead. The Bible says that's going to be a trap for them, the ones that don't want to separate. The Bible says it's going to be a trap. Come on, y'all. We got to get it together. Okay? We got to go back to what worked for us. Look at Black Wall Street, 1921. We had it all going on, our people did. They had their own businesses, land, home, hospitals, movie theaters, schools, churches, everything. And the white people were so jealous, they made up a lie and say somebody assaulted a white woman, and they bombed it. They drugged the people out the house, burned their, killed some of them. That's their hate for us. They don't want us to excel over them. And see, but see, these white women can't holler rape nowadays because they're giving it up to everybody. So they can't even holler rape no more. So, but I'm just saying, this is what the lies they put out back then. Look at the woman that lied on Emmett Till. She just came out a couple of years ago saying that it was a lie. Well, everybody already knew that. But now you're saying it in the 21st century, it's a lie. And then you wrote a book about it, and you get no punishment. You don't get no kind of consequences happen to you for getting that young man killed like that. You get to write a book and still make money off of his death. You see what they do to us? That she's making money off of his death by writing a book about it. The lie she told. You don't believe me? Research it. Look it up. That this white woman, come out and said she lied and she wrote this book. That's something that really pisses me off. Because she faces no consequences behind that lie. But that's what they would do back then. They would lie on any black man just so they have a reason to go hang one that night. It didn't have to be true that the woman got assaulted or raped. All it had to be say, oh, yes, somebody raped the white woman. We're going to get them. And they will pull black men out of their house and string them up in the tree just because they hated them so bad. Just because of the color of your skin. Yes, love. Yes, but I'm trying to stay strong. But this stuff pisses me off. It really does, because I want my people to wake up. It pisses me off so bad that these people get away with murder, slaughter. The Bible said that they was going to do it and hold themselves not guilty. That's what they do. They get acquitted. Hold them own self not guilty. And guilt is all outdoors, but they hold themselves not guilty. It just makes me so mad how they do my brothers, my black men. It just makes me so mad how they do them. Yeah, it makes me mad how they do my sisters. But our people don't have to stop hating on one another for one thing. We need to stop that first, family. I'm going to cut it short because I'm feeling some kind of way right now. But this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to get it together. So I'm going to kind of cut this video short because I just wanted to say some things about to watch what these people are doing to us. Even now today they're doing anything and saying anything to get us locked up. They're doing and saying anything to get us shot by the cops. That's their hatred for us. They just call the cops because really they're calling the cops, hoping the cops show up and shoot us and kill us. They telling it kind of like, well, he had a gun, or he had a knife, and you have nothing. You know. And then you know what, a person is shot because some person in told a lie and said they had something, and they never had anything. You know, that's sad to me because that could be. I have 2 sons. And that could be one of my sons. You know, I have a son. He's security. He has a right to carry. But who knows when one of them racist race soldier cops might stop him and, oh, you got a gun? And he's licensed to carry because of his job. Never know. But as a black woman, this is what we worry about. This is what black mothers worry about. Some of us can't even sleep because of it. You know, and the young man, if you have no reason being out at night, don't be out there. There's nothing but trouble out there after dark. Not unless you're looking for trouble. We're trying to save you. Mother, I'm tired of seeing mothers cry. I was looking at the interview on the Vice show with Phil on the Vice show, and he had yeah, I watched them. Yes, I watched them. And what I was saying, Phil on the Vice show, he had the lady, I think her name was Melissa. I don't think. Well, her son, she was an activist, a black activist, and Mike Brown during that time, during Ferguson, and she was a black activist, and they hung her son recently You're in Chicago. It's a war. Yeah, I've heard, sweetie. I've heard. I've heard how bad it was there. Yes, I really did. My heart goes out. I just think about you guys there all the time. It's a lot of killing there. They blame a lot of it on gang, but I don't think all of it's gang. I really don't think all of it's gang. But that's what they blame it on. Now I know they have gang wars, but I don't believe all of it's gang. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, I was watching the lady Melissa. I don't know, I can't think of her last name, but she was an activist, and she still is, rather. And her son, she found her son hanging in the backyard. Was it last month before last month or so ago? In her backyard, she found her son hanging. Beautiful young man, beautiful young black brother, strong black mother, stand up for what's right for her people. And they had nothing else to do but to get her son out of the house some kind of way and hang him in the backyard so she could get up the next morning and find her son hung. Now the mother said that the sheet that he was hung with didn't even belong to the house, that she didn't have sheets like that. So that was a number one giveaway. The number two giveaway is the chair. When they hollered, the cops showed on the scene, oh, suicide, didn't even investigate. The chair, she said the chair wasn't even near her son. The chair that they claimed he got up there in was way off somewhere. Wasn't even near the body. And the third thing, his pants were pulled down to his ankle. That's what they used to do to black men back there during the time that they were hanging them way back in the day. They will pull their pants down. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's just to degrade them after death, but they will pull their pants down after they hung them. That's what they did to this young man. And that shows me right there that it was white supremacists, because that's their MO. They do that. They did it back then. It's like, we're gonna pull his pants down. Now this man didn't hang himself and then get up there and pull his pants down. His own pants. He had on, looked like to me to be some sort of briefs. But his pants, or whatever he had on, sweatpants or whatever they were, he had on brief, but his sweatpants pulled down to his ankles. Now, what you mean to tell me this young man, hung himself, then pulled his own pants down? That's not possible, y'all. That's impossible. So, yeah, somebody did it. But the race soldier cop shows up on the scene, oh, suicide, without even investigating. You cannot holler suicide every time you see a black person hung and not investigate it. That's not us. That's them. That's not us. We can take stuff. They can't. They'll kill themselves. They'll hang themselves in a minute. That's not us. Just like with Sandra Bland. She didn't. I just read this morning that they gave the family so many millions of dollars for wrongful death. Ask me this question. Why would you pay a settlement for a wrongful death if there was no foul play? Come on, y'all. Why would you pay this family that money if there was no foul play? Come on, y'all. That's crazy. This young lady did not kill herself. We all know that. We can't prove it, but we know. We know us. Just put it like that. Black people, we know us. Okay? That's not us. So, I'm being messed with too for speaking out. They're messing with me. They're messing with me on Facebook. They're messing with me. Every time I use my house phone, they're tapping into my phone. We can hear them. Other people can hear them. But I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Whatever it is, I know my God, He will protect me. But there's some things got to be. I have kids. I have sons. I have daughters. And they're young. I don't want nobody messing with them. And I can only imagine what that lady that found her son hung. I can only imagine what she's going through. I seen her on Field of Eyes show, and man, I sat here and I cried like a baby listening to her talk. Hurts so bad. These are my people that they're doing it to, and this is why it hurts so bad. But family, I'm gonna try to log off here, and I'm gonna read your comments, and I'm gonna after I read your comments, I'm gonna get back with you. So I want to make sure I log off of here right. Okay. Yes. All right. I want to share it. Okay. I'm gonna